You may have seen those recent stats that over 500,000 people have left the state of California over the past 3 years, and although that's slowing down, it's not stopping, and how they're pouring into other states like Idaho, Texas, Tennessee, and Florida. Now, I was one of those people that left California for Idaho during this time frame, and as a third generation San Diegan, it was very difficult to make that decision until it wasn't. Now, I had built multiple businesses in San Diego, and we had family and lifelong friends in San Diego, and of course, the amazing weather that we have in San Diego. Well, my wife and I had been having thoughts about moving out of California, but honestly, the incredible San Diego weather had become the #1 thing holding me back from making the move out of state. I mean, in Idaho, we've got 4 seasons, and let's be real, it's cold out here right now when I'm filming this video for you, but I just wanna warn you that I may say some things in this video that will offend you. Now, if you're a little bit politically sensitive, I just went ahead and slapped that trigger warning right there on the title for you. Now, we had gone through the COVID BS and some of the strictest lockdowns and of course the mask Nazis and the Karens in San Diego, and we'd gone through some BLM protests, watching our local businesses get burned down in San Diego. And we were just at the point where we had had enough. And so we took a series of trips to free states like Idaho, Tennessee, Texas, and then a road trip through all the southern free states. Now, it was a combination of these trips where we saw that folks in these states were living their lives free of the BS that was going on in California. This, along with the rapid acceleration of the woke politics in California and the constant waging of war on our personal rights enshrined in the U.S. Constitution.
Private citizens can now sue anyone who violates the state's laws against the manufacturing, distribution, or sale of illegal weapons in California.
Governor Gavin Newsom came up with this idea.
We finally decided we had had enough, and we decided to move to Boise, Idaho. Now, we were just blown away by what we could buy in Idaho compared to California. You can buy a home for about $500,000 to $800,000 here in Boise, Idaho, Treasure Valley. That would cost you $1 million to $2 million back in California. We didn't currently own a home in San Diego. We had owned for a few years, but I mistakenly believed the hype that the housing market was about to crash. And I sold my home back in 2014, thinking that I was a genius in my late 20s by pocketing around $100,000 in equity. Except that housing crash never came, and we became permanent renters, watching our savings get handed over to landlords for 8 years. And that home that I sold is now worth another $400,000 over what I sold it for. That was my starter home. And now we have 3 kids and I work from home. So I couldn't buy a starter 2-bedroom condo in San Diego for our family of 5, plus our work from home situation. We needed to buy a move up home, and that just was not possible for us in San Diego. So we ended up buying a brand new home in Idaho for just under $500,000, 4-bedroom with an office, 4-car garage, and a huge backyard for the kids to play in. We just had to get over staying in San Diego because of the weather and make that decision to move, and we're so glad that we did. It's changed our lives forever. I get asked all the time why I chose Idaho over a state like Texas, Florida, or Tennessee, and I'm going to jump into that. And before I do, if you're in the same boat as I was looking to make the move to Idaho from California or another oppressive state like Oregon or Washington, well, I help people just like you make the move to Idaho. This is my full-time business. It's not a hobby or a part-time gig that I use just to make a few extra bucks. And I can help you with existing resale or new construction homes. I have a master's degree in construction management from USC, and that was my prior career building luxury condos and apartments in downtown San Diego. So I do tend to help people specifically buy new construction homes in Idaho, but I can help with anything. People want to know what kind of experience I have specifically in real estate. And aside from being a full-time real estate agent these past 4 years, being in the top percentile for realtors and sales, I currently have 10 people in contract on homes, several listings coming up, and another 12 people buying with me this spring, and dozens more planning to move over the next year or two that have reached out to me. These people have trusted me to get the job done. You can check me out on Instagram at Real Curtis Chism, friend me on Facebook, or follow my business page and check out my reviews on Google anytime. If you're ready to get started making the move here to Idaho, just reach out via phone, text, or email. We'll set up a Zoom call and get a plan specifically tailored to your situation to make the move here to Idaho. Now, Idaho has been one of the fastest growing states in the nation by percentage, and you can see why. Now, Texas is actually growing the most in terms of people moving to the state. It's taken on over 300,000 people just this last year alone. Now, I visited Texas several times thinking it would be a great state for us, and I'm sure it is for a lot of people. And I had a lot of friends, including my best friend from childhood, make the move to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But we honestly just felt like it was a concrete jungle, kind of like LA. And I really like being outdoors, getting out into nature, and I just didn't find you could really do that easily, at least in the parts of Texas where we had visited. Now here in Idaho, in just a few minutes, you can be at the Boise River, fishing, kayaking, floating, or chilling in the nice cold water during the summer. Or within an hour, you can be skiing at Bogus Basin or in just beautiful forested mountains. I also had looked at Tennessee and Florida, but honestly, I just can't handle the hot, sticky humidity and the bugs that those two states have. I also just wanted to be in a Western state with a culture that I was a little bit more familiar with. Now you'll hear a lot, don't California my Idaho. You'll hear this online a lot. It's a big concern for people moving from California, that they're just gonna turn Idaho into that woke state that California has become. While there certainly can be some elements of people that think that way, I'll admit it's just not what you're gonna be hearing like online with other states like Texas and Tennessee, where they actually really are becoming more purple and kind of woke. In fact, in the 22 election cycle, the state became 5% more conservative, and recent data shows that 75% of the people moving from California registered as Republican, just 10% registered as Democrat. The other 15%, I guess they're not sure about. And I'm a little surprised that even 10% registered as Democrat, because the people that are moving here are moving from California because they're fed up with the policies there and they're political refugees. So you're just not gonna find people in person here that are gonna be upset that you're from California, especially given the fact that many of the people that you'll meet will be from California or from other states. Now, frankly, the people here in Idaho are very friendly, and you're just going to get those people that are keyboard warriors online, probably gonna comment on this video saying Idaho's full, Californians are ruining the state, but you're just really not gonna find that in person here. The weather is the number one reason why many people stay in California. You just can't beat the beaches in California and the incredible weather there. Idaho is a 4-season state. We have distinct spring, summer, fall, and winters, and the winters do get cold. You're going to find temps ranging from the low digits, occasionally at night, to 30s in the day during the winter, and the summers can get hot, oftentimes in the 80s and 90s, and sometimes pushing into the hundreds. Now, the weather is a lot drier here as well. The cold is more of a dry cold versus a wet cold that I'm used to in places like San Diego, or definitely what you're gonna find in other places like Tennessee or Florida. We also have learned to really embrace the 4 seasons here. There's just a cycle of life that we have here that's really beautiful. We get to see the farms planted in the spring. The trees turn green with white, beautiful flowers, blossoms. Everyone just comes out in full force to enjoy the warm weather. And then with the summer, everything's in full bloom and it's growing. We hit the river, we head into the mountains, we camp and fish, and then fall hits and the farms get harvested. The leaves change and we do all these fun outdoor activities like Low Family Farmstead that my kids absolutely love. And honestly, I love it too. Then winter comes, we head indoors a little bit more, it snows a bit, and everything resets for the next year. Now it does get cold and gray, but we still have over 200 days of sunshine here. Now you're just gonna have to weigh all the factors that are holding you in California, decide if something like the weather is really that big of a factor. Now, who's moving to Idaho from California? From what I have found, it's mostly young families, like what I have described earlier, like myself, or it's people that are nearing retirement or have just retired. Those are the folks that I tend to work with the most. And the communities that they're moving into are really all over the Treasure Valley. It's just really depending on what suits your exact lifestyle. Now, I've also been blown away by how well Boise maintains its roads and how incredibly clean it is with almost no homeless. I was really used to dirty downtown, seeing massive homeless populations, drug use, even homeless people having sex in parking garages and stairwells in San Diego. When you come to Idaho, and it's just not the case. Are there homeless people? Yeah, but they're being actively taken care of because of course they need help. Now, we're not saying that homeless people don't need help. The ducks are going crazy over here, by the way, if you hear that in the background. But look, I was just sick and fed up with the policies that are just wasting all of our tax dollars, going to pointless welfare programs that aren't actually helping people. And we're just tired of having to live around people that do really need help, but are causing a lot of problems for the city. It just wasn't safe for our kids or ourselves. And the cities all around Boise are incredibly clean. All the suburbs like Meridian, Eagle, Nampa, Caldwell, Kuna, Star, Middleton, they're just gonna be incredibly safe and clean cities. Now, for most people that are moving here, a big part of it is certainly going to be politics, like what I've talked about, but it's also affordability. Now, I talked earlier about the type of home that I was able to buy. And so your home is certainly gonna be your big savings, but you're also gonna have a lot of savings in your mortgage payment and in your home insurance, your property taxes, and your utility bills, your gas and electric bill. You're gonna have a massive savings. I pay about a 0.6% effective property tax, about $1,800 a year. Your home insurance, car insurance, utilities, that's where you're gonna get your big savings. I was just talking with a friend the other day and I found out he's paying $10,000 more per year in property tax and homeowner's insurance for a smaller home. And my gas and electric bills average around $150 a month, and I run them 24/7 versus the average rates that I was paying or know of clients and friends paying in California from $300 to $800 a month. And my water bill is just $60 a month, and I get unlimited irrigation water for my lawn and vegetable garden for $160 a year. Now, I get asked all the time if I'm happy that I moved here, and I can categorically say I'm so happy I moved here, and I have no plans to leave. It's just such a better pace of life, a better place to raise my kids. As I mentioned before, if you're looking to move here, you just gotta reach out to me via phone, text, or email. My contact information is on the screen and listed down below. If you wanna explore more about the Treasure Valley, all you gotta do is watch this video right here, and I'll see you on the next video.